Okay, so what do we do about sleep? What do people got? What works?
There's a ton of sleeping pills that don't do squat.
Right,
Well, your body gets immune to them after.
Well, they
Yeah.
don't work from the beginning.
right.
You give me a carton, that much Ambien, I'll dump it all down, nothing will happen.
Nothing.
I have a friend in Dillon, and she couldn't sleep, and she took all, not medication, but supplements she could get, and different things, and then she took it for a while, then that didn't work anymore, then she took something else. And then she did buy the Biomat, and the Biomat reduces stress about 78%, and also brings you in a delta state. And since she had the Biomat from day one, she slept on it. And when she couldn't sleep, she said, I hated to go to bed. At work, people didn't like me anymore. I was not a very nice person. And since I slept on the Biomat, I slept every night. Now I'm looking forward to go to bed. I'm a nice person again, and people like to be around me again, and that's an alternative that doesn't take any intake of medication or so.
It takes a little bit of output of cash, but it,
Yeah, but I see it also. So if you get for example, a massage, it's $70, and you get 10 massages. But the Biomet, you have your lifelong, you have it 24/7, and all your family can use it too. And it has far infrared negative ions, and it's filled with crystals.
Have you ever used BMSO?
The what?
BMSO?
No.
That works
Good
really good.
stuff,
It
you
is.
bet.
Until you do too much.
Yeah, just moderation is what it's called.
And you smell like rotten
and then-
No,
garlic
it doesn't
cookies.
even have, it doesn't even have a smell to it.
I don't have.
Oh, yes, it does.
No.
What is it?
BMSO.
dimethyl sulfoxide, it's an agent that causes,
Horses to run to
Horse
finish
medicine.
with a broken leg. That's
yeah,
what it
yeah, it's
causes.
it's also a solvent. It'll actually help things that you put on your skin get into the skin better. So
Yeah.
it's a driver of other things, but it's also an anti-inflammatory in and of its own self. And I prescribe I use a compounding pharmacy named Dermatran, and they'll use DMSO for some of the topical stuff that I prescribe people to get.
That's what's in my gabapentin.
Yeah,
Just is in
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of things to create. What did I just do here? I just made this funnel here,
About Pin's Head.
and I think that say what?
Pin's Head, do you ever use that? It's a Canadian anti-inflammatory.
It's a brand name for a generic that I think I know, but I can't recall it.
Well,
So-
they must have just got the generic,
Yeah.
because I don't know of the generic yet.
Anybody got a Google?
I went to
Google it.
Spokane to get it.
I do. Yeah. Pensaid?
Mhm,
Pensaid?
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it, and I don't know which anti-inflammatory it is, but it's in the same category
it's-
as any of
Put
the other
like a whole
NSAIDs.
bunch of drops on.
Yeah,
Works really good.
yeah.
When
Good.
you have it.
There's also something called earthing they're doing now. Have you
Earthing?
heard of that? And it's, you can use little patches and plug yourself into the earth
Penn said medicine.
or to, into the grounding outlet inside. And it reduces inflammation, gets rid of the cortisol. It's amazing. People have experienced better sleep, less pain. It's fairly inexpensive.
Diclofenac sodium
Earthing.
topical
Earthing.
solution.
Diclofenac, yeah,
Here
okay.
it is right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
The earthing.
So
Yes,
diclofenac.
Penzade,
It's like-
Solarized,
Kind of like
Voltaren,
gel or something.
top.
Yeah, okay, so it's topical, yeah, okay. Diclofenac just came out as an injectable. This is sort of like Toradol as an anti-inflammatory pain
So
reliever.
that'd be better.
Yeah. So lots of tools, and we've all, the great thing about how people recover is that they're grassroots in nature, okay? So the most effective recovery program would be Alcoholics Anonymous, right? I mean, it's grassroots. It wasn't invented by some psychologist or psychiatrist. It was invented by the people who were suffering from the illness. And they transformed the recovery from that particular illness by coming up with something that was community-based, spiritual-based. I just saw a study about addiction, about how recovery from addiction has to do more with community and belonging than it does with anything else you do. And guess what isolates us? Pain. Because we just want to go in the corner and lick our wounds. So when we're in pain, we're going to isolate. We're not going to be social. How you doing? Oh, great to see you. You know, we're not in a party mood
No.
when we're in pain. And so we have to actually struggle against the need to isolate. And the final thing I want to say is that all of these things that accumulate funnel us down through some spiritual keyhole. And you guys are all like warriors. You know, you're dealing with stuff that seems like it's impossible to deal with. You're being with the prejudice about it, or the judgment that you've had about it, or the obstructions that you've had, and it feels like, well, I'll just say that, you know, after my 4th marriage ended, I said to myself, I had all my friends commit to me that if I ever get married again, it's because I'm trying to get rid of her. Okay? Because that's all it's good for, right? And so I got a blind spot. And so that brings up this topic of shame. Okay? Because we all have our flaws. And I've talked about some of mine lately, and the reason that stuff doesn't bother me is that in the last few years I've really realized that shame is a bankrupt emotion. It doesn't get us anywhere. And yet when we have pain, we think God gave it to us, and we have sinned. It's like even if we're not religious, we feel like the gods must not be happy with us.
I'm an agnostic, and I think God is punishing me. I'm an agnostic. Makes no sense.
And sometimes the people closest to you can be the preachy type that call you a pill popper or this and that, and not understand the pain you're with, and put a lot of pressure on you, you know, and that's what I found out.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
you'll be called a pill popper. I go,
Then you gotta.
You know how you
well,
can
they're
shut them
drinking
up?
a
Give them
24 pack
pill.
of beer. You know?
yeah, give them one of your
Give
pills.
them
that'll
one of
shut
your
'em up.
pills, they won't get high, and they'll shut the hell up.
That's beautiful. So I think you know, ultimately we have we're dealing with these cunning and baffling illnesses. You know, trauma, psoriatic arthritis. Where the hell did that come from? You know, it's like that's just the nuttiest illness.
I don't want it anymore.
I know. But miracles happen. I see pain leave people alone. And I think what happens is if you go through this so-called keyhole and do something around your soul and take care of it at that level, as opposed to scurrying around trying to just strategize the relief, you might get pain to leave you alone.